There we are. Hi, everybody. It's me, your buddy Sean. I'm back. Some of you may have seen our little Burning Wheel game last night. That was a lot of fun. Tonight is not going to be about Burning Wheel. Tonight is going to be about me playing video games. In fact, I should probably, like a professional-ass streamer that I am, I'm not professional about any goddamn thing. I'm not even pretending. I should probably change up to show what I'm actually playing, which is going to be more Torment Tides of Numenera. And this should be part 5, I think. I think this is the 5th time that I've actually gotten a chance to play this game, at least here on the stream. It's been a while. It's been like a week, so I don't really remember exactly where we left off. But I think we'll probably catch up here pretty soon. Let's get that information updated. There we go. If this stream ever seems like just kind of weird and random, and that's because I just turn it on whenever I feel like, it's kind of half-assed, and I realize that, but I guess that's just the kind of guy I am. Also, I apologize for how echoey it is in here. There's no furniture in this room yet, so nothing to kind of muffle it, and I don't have anything to block the sound. So hopefully audio quality will get better as we go. I know this mic is better than the mic on here. I just need a less lame headset. Anyway, it's kind of late, and I'm a little tired, so I'm going to get through like an hour of this, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's just get straight to the game, shall we? Oh, there's that pretty music. Turn that down in my headphones, though. All right, let's start back up. If you don't know anything about this game, so far the plot is that I am playing the last cast-off of somebody who is a discarded body of this being called the Changing God. Pardon me. There we go. Oh shit, and there's that thing. This is a puzzle. This is a puzzle that I gave up on the last time we played. Now I remember where we're at. Alright. Let's start here. I am, as you can see, the last cast off. Currently I am a Slick Jack. That is the most not safe for work character class I've ever seen in a game. But what that means is the Jack is effectively the thief class in this game, from what I'm gathering. It's kind of a good all-around character. Jack probably means Jack of all trades. There's also the Nano, which is the quote-unquote wizard class, and the Blade, I think, is the other character class, which is the combat-oriented one. Currently, I'm really much like its predecessor, Planescape Torment. This seems to be a game that's really about figuring out who you are. You come into this world with no real memory, just some vague images of crazy shit that's happened to you. And now that you're in the world interacting, you have to figure out not only who you are, but who you have been, because other people in the world have interacted with previous incarnations of you. Some in positive ways, I imagine, and some definitely in negative ways. So our main quest here is to find somebody to help me repair what's called a resonance chamber. It's a big glass coffin that supposedly will heal my body and mind to help me remember who I am. At least that's kind of what I'm gathering here. I'm still a little bit confused, but I think that's the intent of this game, is that you start out with nothing, and as you fill in the blanks, not only the story of your journey emerges, but the journey that you have previously been on. And anyway, in the course of doing that, I have chosen to follow my companion Calistegi, who is a nano, to find the order she belongs to, the Order of Truth, who deal with Numenera, which are relics of these past either precursor races, or I'm still not sure if the idea is that the ninth world, the world that this game takes place in, is kind of a nexus where things from different dimensions and worlds kind of fall into and wind up. It's a very cool, weird fantasy sort of thing going on. Anyway, so that's my main quest. I have to also find a book that a previous incarnation of mine borrowed from somebody and then subsequently never gave back. I imagine that racked up some library fees. Also, the creature or person that, quote unquote, I borrowed it from was very unhappy about that fact. And my other side quest here is one of somebody who I had previously met in a previous incarnation wants me to break into this building called an anechoic lazaret to help her get inside. And that seems to be kind of the most obvious choice about where to go for the moment.
I'm going.
All right, here we go. A small wireframe pyramid sits on a base of polished wood. Lying inside the pyramid is a dull sphere of a silverish metal. So the puzzle here is I have these options of removing and replacing the sphere into this pyramid from any of its 4 sides. I guess 5 sides. Yeah, 5 sides. Front, left, right, back, right, and bottom. I'm pretty sure that I have to get it to change color through the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv, yeah. Green is in there somewhere. So it's a matter of figuring out which ones to put in which order. There's only one way to solve this puzzle, and that's with paper. Let's see if I can actually get it. I feel really old school, actually, writing down clues. I feel like I'm playing like an old Ultima game, or maybe Wizardry. All right, so if I take it through the front opening, nope, I'll leave it again. Let's come back to it.
Go.
So it's not the front. Let's go left. Ooh, okay. So step 1 is left. So now I want it to be orange, right? So it comes out left. Goes through the front. Okay. So that changes to a bright orange. Let's take it out the back. I want it to be yellow. Nope. So let's try it again. This is my least favorite part of these games right here, but I think we can get it. So we go left, and it should turn red. Then we go through the front, and it should turn into a bright orange. Now we have to figure out yellow. Let's see, back. So back turns it blue, so it's not back. I think I just did the exact same thing like 2 times. Let's try this again. Left. Front. 3. We know we don't want to put it through the back. Let's see, remove it through the bottom. Bottom. So now we want green. All right. How about to the back? Ooh. I think right goes through blue. No. All right. On it. So here we go. Left. Front. Bottom. No, not right. Ah. One of these times I'm gonna get it. Bottom. Back. Left. Nope.
Let's go.
I bet it's right. Front. Bottom. Back. Right, nope.
On it.
All right, so we'll try it from the front. Nope.
I'm ready.
Back. Left. Nope.
Ready.
This must be the best for anybody who happens to be watching this horse shit. I've been on here 14 minutes and all I'm doing is going through. Front. Bottom. Back. Right. Happens if we turn it to back. Oh, yep. Back twice. So now we want it to turn indigo. All right. Nope.
Ready.
Let's try it one more time. back. Let's try it through the bottom. Bottom. And then front. Yes! Sphere deepens to a violet hue. Suddenly, the sphere flashes with a blinding light. When your vision returns, the sphere is back in the frame, and in your hand is a strange object. The item, the Dance of Sharp Angles. What is this? Oh, it's a cipher. Summon a phased humanoid husk to fight alongside you and confers the phased condition on the user. Converts all damage to transdimensional and grants plus 30% evasion, plus 3 resistance, except transdimensional damage dealt to this character is plus 100%. Wow. Awesome. Oh, I don't want to use it right now. Cool. Finally, I can move on and do something different. All right.
As you wish.
Yes.
What do we got here? Abhumans of the Sagus Protectorate. Looks like a book. A study of savagery. The creatures known as abhumans are believed to descend from human ancestors, but at some point in their history they became something else. Perhaps through mutation, directed breeding, or accelerated evolution. Unlike mutants, abhumans have rejected their humanity and live as beasts. Though some are very clever, nearly all of them are violent and cruel, preying upon humanity when they can. Historically, 2 species of abhumans have been common in the Sagus Protectorate. The first is the vile Merdan, hunched and bird-like. Oh, so we've got the Merdan, which are bird people that can communicate telepathically but can't talk, or the Yavok, which are just tiny people that kill things. Awesome. I think I will leave the... Oh, actually, let's take a look at my journal. What book? Five-colored sigil on its cover.
Yes.
Is that one? Let's take a look again. This one doesn't say anything about that. Alright, so what do we got? These books are piled haphazardly on the floor. They reflect a dozen areas of inquiry, most of which are unrelated to each other. This glowing display shows a globe, the 9th world probably. Green lines depict trajectories that a ship could follow into the void between worlds. This desk is tidy and neat. A book entitled Ecology of Biomechanical Hybrids is open to a sparse entry on something. The enigmatic Nycthemeron? What do we got here? Ooh. This desk is cluttered with scrawled notes, piles of paper, and worn books. The owner was either extremely disorganized or left in a hurry. Let's examine the papers and books. You rustle through the mess of documents and notes, most of them discussing the buildings and architecture of prior worlds. They're filled with drawings and descriptions of bizarre structures uncovered by scholars and explorers. That was a terrible place to put emphasis. I'm terribly sorry. The owner of this desk seems to have been particularly interested in the doors, door frames, and archways. He has drawn circles around all such things, but his scrawled comments are never more revealing than similar but not a match, or could there be a connection here? Let's examine them again. Again, you scan the jumbled books and documents, but you don't find anything new. Most of them describe the architecture of prior world. Anything resembling a door frame has been circled in brightly colored ink. You also notice a few letters and personal correspondence, but they appear to have been written in code or perhaps in a foreign script that isn't familiar to them. Let's leave the desk alone. I think we've talked to pretty much everybody here. At this point, I think it seems like the most reasonable thing to do is to go down and try and get into that room that that Salamari wanted me to finally enter. Sorry, I was checking to make sure that I was turning up the right input. Oh, also, let me pause this for just a second. I need to check one. Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to check a setting. Let's take a look at our map here. So I've just come out of the Order of Truth. This leads down to a place called the Underbelly. The Red Thicket, I'm not sure exactly what that is. There's a merchant. The Council Tower, which I have already been to. Let's check out the Red Thicket. Aglaive. I had said blade before, but glaive is the class of warriors. Ain who knows. This woman's expression defies easy definition. It is cool and professional, but focused, interested. She nods at you and clasps her hands. I haven't seen you in here before, she says. Her voice is oddly muted. Before we begin, you should understand where we are. She gestures to one of the plant-like structures nearby. This is the Red Thicket. No one can listen in on our conversation here. You can only hear me because I am speaking to you directly. In other words, no one will ever know what you tell me now in this place. She smiles very, very slightly. At any rate, have you come to trade? Trade what? I am a knowledge broker, she says. A hunter of information. Come to me with questions, and if I have answers, I will trade them. She straightens further and blinks once, managing to make this simple action look as though it was planned in advance. My pricing is simple, a secret for a secret. The only condition is that it must be one I do not already know, and I should warn you that I know a great deal. How do I know you won't claim to know a secret you've never heard before? A fair question. If she is offended, she doesn't show it. But I don't bother with assurances. You can either judge my honesty for yourself or take your business elsewhere. Sounds like a fair deal. Indigo Tide. In case this is the first time you're just tuning in, another part of this game, which is kind of fascinating to me, is the exploration of not only the setting and the story, but also of the mechanics of the game. These tides that will pop up through conversation are the game's kind of alignment system, and there's, I think, 5 different ones, and I'm guessing that it tracks each one separately. Like, it doesn't necessarily drop one to raise another. I'm pretty sure that that you can have multiple at the top. It's just whichever one happens to be higher at the moment is the one that is prevalent. And that will actually change, I believe, some of either your conversation options, or it may change actually some of your character's abilities in the game. But they only come about through the dialogue trees in the game. Incidentally, this is probably one of those games that I will play once. There's a lot of these. I know that a lot of people will want to play through a game. You know, I want to play through Mass Effect as all Renegade or full Paragon. I think that was the name of it. I like to play through these games once and not really know what direction my choices are gonna go in. I just like to make the choice that I make, and then generally speaking, I never pick up that game again. This might be one of those where you play through it, and whatever story you get, whatever ending you get as a result of what happened, is just what the story is. In any case, it is, she agrees, but there is something you should know. Anything you choose to tell me will of course be traded to others in due time. A rare, slight smile graces her lips. In short, if you wish to keep something a secret, don't tell it to me. Why don't you trade these secrets directly to the people involved? A number of reasons, she says, but chiefly this. I am a broker, not a blackmailer. I'm interested in exchanging secrets. Good, she says simply. What information do you need? All right, so here's my options. Is someone in the Order of Truth a spy for the Memavira? The Memavira, I think I would need to look it up again, but it's another faction in this game. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up exactly what that means. It's been long enough since I played this, by long enough, I mean a week, that's a proper noun, a fantasy game proper noun that I don't remember or recognize. So I'll go back and take a look. Number 2, I want to propose something different. I'll trade you information for a secret you find interesting. Okay. Number 3, actually I don't want to trade any secrets right now, or just I'm out. Let's see. Let's try number 2. Genuine pleasure warms her face. Agreed, she says. What do you offer? I can tell you some secrets about myself. Would that serve? Or would you accept secrets about Sega's Cliffs? I'm going to tell a secret about myself. It might, she allows. What can you tell me? I could lie and say I'm the changing god. I was the falling star that appeared in the sky over the city. So at the beginning of this game, I crashed basically from outer space onto the planet, the surface of the planet, and people had actually come to investigate and see if it was something that they could salvage and sell or use. But it turned out it was me. I could tell her that I'm a cast-off. I think I'm going to tell her that I was the falling star. There we go. Her gaze flickers from your face to your hair and then your hands. Interesting, she says, touching the air above her wrist. But far more interesting for you, I'd imagine, especially at the time. The side of her mouth quirks. Now for your interesting secret. She traces the corner of her lips thoughtfully. The merchants Felinda and Duristi are in love and have been for many, many years. Felinda has never heard Sturisti's voice. Farewell. Now, what I'm really interested in finding out is that going to hose me? I'm afraid you've caught the two of us acting like children. You can't hear a thing I'm saying to my colleague, can you? So it looks like all of these people are just having these weird private conversations. This person's by themselves. Arafa Breton. This slim man looks to be in good shape, and though his face remains hidden within his hood, he carries himself with confidence. His clothing exudes something like smoke that makes him look a bit like a ghost, perhaps a man who can't be found if he doesn't want to be. Arafa Breton, he states. Pleasure. I'm a merc, head of the Spectre company. What brings you to the Red Thicket? Tell me about the Spectre company. We do infiltration mostly, he says with a smoothness that implies he's given this speech before. Sabotage, assassinations, assorted hostile recovery. Sometimes the city hires us to handle local threats. Problematic tribes, roaming predators, you name it. He chuckles. Pretty quiet these days, not like when we got started. Our first big job was a series of assaults in the Endless Battle. What's the Endless Battle? Really? He says, cocking an eyebrow. All right. It's basically like it sounds, a fight that's given people like me a solid payday for more generations than anyone could count. He shrugs. As far as I heard, it's a scrap between rival factions of the Changing Gods cast-offs. What about? I couldn't tell you. He cracks a grin. Getting interested in the why of war always ends up being bad for business. What did you do in the Endless Battle? Can't say. He says automatically. Contracts. You understand. All I can tell you is the Chalcedon pays on time, and that's more than I can say for some of the employers I've had over the years. He sighs. One of the best jobs we've ever had. Who's the Chalcedon? One of the commanders on the Changing God side, he says. Pays well and on time, and that's the extent of my opinion on the matter. Now, my turn for questions. It's not just the tattoo that gives you away. I know you, don't I? Where from? We fight together? Fight each other? What is it? His hand drops to a pocket near his hip. Tell the truth now. I'll know if you're lying. Anamnesis. I can never pronounce that word. This is when this comes up. Basically, it's me trying to remember what happened previously. Tap into the memories of previous incarnations. The only problem is that I'm really low on this stat pool. Alright, I fully depleted one of my stat pools. To recover my stat pool, you can find a place to sleep or use consumable items and ciphers. Okay, but I did succeed. You focus on the man, his features, and open your mind. Can we trust them? You hear yourself say, your voice muted by the years. They're mercenaries, your companion replies. Of course we can't. That's not what I mean, you snap. Can we trust them to finish the work? If not, kill them now. This is no time for uncertainty. I don't think I really have come up with a voice for my character. You return to the present just in time to hear Arathor speak again. Well, are you going to tell me how we know each other or not? I was also in the Endless Battle. Say no more, he says, raising a hand. Should have known with that tattoo and all. My curiosity does get the better of me. What is your company doing in Sagus? Negotiations, he says shortly. I'm between meetings with a few council representatives. They may want us for some ongoing work. He shows his teeth. A bit of a bidding war going on right now, to be honest. We're in demand. Farewell, Arathor. let's move on and actually get down to to deal with an actual quest coming up. I should probably take the time to actually heal up my character some. Let's get down here, and then for anybody who doesn't already know what's going on, pardon me. Let's go look at my inventory. All right, quest items. All right, so I've got these 3 pools right here. And it's almost like I've got these 4 different sets of hit points. And basically, depending on what kind of challenges show up in the course of the game, most of which wind up being introduced through the conversation window, or the conversation tree. Whenever a challenge presents itself, I can spend some of the points from these pools to increase my chance of success. In this case, in that last conversation with Arathor, I had spent my last point of intellect. So what I need to do is use that on the last cast off, and that healed 3 points of intellect. So there I am. I'm about a little less than half. In some situations, I can actually have my companions
All right.
Use points from their pools on my behalf. So here are the 2 merchants that the lady in the red thicket told me about. They're also the pair that I am in trouble with for not returning a book. The thief returned, the merchant says. Felinda wondered why, but did not ask. Storisi. The silent merchant traces dark fingers over a cracked scroll. It appears to be ignoring you as politely as possible. Let's watch Storisi work some more. The merchant again passes a hand over the page, and you hear the scrape of quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of that hand, as if pulled from beneath the page. Why don't you talk? The merchant does not acknowledge your question in the slightest. All right. Interesting that those 2 are in love and have been for a while. All right, here we go. So let's take a look at the map here. So this is where we came in. This is the hole I made when I broke in through the dome. This right here is the anechoic lazaret, which it looks like this whole thing is some sunken spaceship.
On it. Fine. Let's go.
Oh, and that thing will shoot fucking lasers at you if you go mess with it. That big green.
Yes.
Alright. Let's go ahead and... Oop. Let's leave the door alone for a second. I'm going to save the game before we do anything else.
I'm going.
Alright. Here we go. This metal door is thick, heavy, and unmarked by time. Double rows of circular bumps run horizontally and vertically across its surface. As before, one of the bumps slides open, and a few waving strands of synth emerge from the hole. Somebody in my previous session of playing this handed me an item, a metallic eye. Hold the metallic eye near the open aperture. The waving strands whip out, wrapping themselves around the eye. For a moment, the eye comes to life, buzzing and whispering, getting warmer in your hand. The synth fibers make soft, fluttery sounds in return. After a moment, they withdraw. The door slides open and you step into the chamber beyond. Oh. So, we had looked in that book before. There are Merdan in here. A cluster of hunched creatures awaits you in this dark room, smelling of rust and blood. They are bird-like abhumans with chipped beaks, matted feathers, and filthy leather robes. It's not that their appearance reminds you who they are. It's the gritty static that fills your head, a side effect of the creature's telepathy. These are Merdans, cruel and cunning scavengers, and a fifth of their number lies dead on the ground with great chunks torn out of its body. My, Callistegi says. Dulcane, I wonder what they're doing in Salamari's little crypt. Be careful, darling. They're violent and capricious things. Dulcane. It's a corruption of a much longer term from an obscure tongue, she says, idly studying the Merdans. It means sickening birds, I'm told. She lowers her voice. They will be looking for weakness in us. Depend on it. If you wish to avoid a fight, we must now show our strength, but not back them into a corner. The largest Merdan straightens, eyeing you, snapping its beak once, twice. It seems to be waiting for you to speak. Cross your arms and wait for them to make the first move. You wait in silence, gritting your teeth against the coarse mental buzzing of their communication. Then the largest one abruptly lurches towards you. The static intensifies. Anamnesis. The static washes against the sealed bulwark of your buried past, and an unrelated memory wakes, tinged with throbbing chords of disgust. In this vial, you say to the mewling traitor bound to the wall, is living flame. I don't use the word lightly. It has feelings, morals, self-respect. It will regret what it does to you. It will grieve, and neither of you will ever be the same. You tangle your fingers in his hair, yanking his head back. Now tell me where she is, or drink. The floor is cold beneath your palms. Bile claws at your throat. Nothing connected to that memory. Nothing connected that memory to this moment. The Merdan's telepathic communication seems to be triggering portions of your mind, and it may happen again if this conversation goes on much longer. Talons scratch the floor. The Merdans are watching, eyes glittering at your apparent weakness. Do that again, and I'll rip out your throats. The smaller Merdans flinch, and the lead one hesitates. Unfortunately, another memory is swelling between the nauseating waves of static. This one, by the feeling of dread that accompanies it, is much worse. Oh, I can either spend intellect to push the memory away, or I can yield to it. Do I want to know some of my past? Or is this not the right time? I feel like this isn't the right time. They've already pecked one of their own to death. I feel like I need to push... Oh, this isn't good. Ooh, he can spend a bunch more, but he doesn't have much. 20%, huh? Yep, failed. Failure. The throbbing static of the Merdan's mental voices is too powerful. Shortly before the greasy, tumorous waves of memory envelops you, you see the glint in their beady eyes and realize they were shouting telepathically to make this happen. You drag the corpse along the floor, leaving a trail of ash and shreds of charred flesh. It isn't my fault, you tell the air. I didn't lie. I told him the truth, and he didn't listen. The hole before you is deep and stinking, a dripping pit. You tip the cast-off's body in, pretending to turn away before the mouths open and rip him to chunks and threads. But you never turn fast enough. You hear bird-like shrieks as the memory mercifully fades. The Merdans are attacking. Now we're in full-on combat. I think this is the first combat that we've seen. So Tabir, he is, I believe he's a Aglaive. Oh, can't quite get. There. Let's get him close.
Damnation.
Can he attack now? So basic attack. I've got a 55% chance of hitting, but I can spend might to bump that up. So, oh, poor Tabir's gonna get fucked here. Let's be less cast off. What do I have at my disposal here? Let's see, do I think I'll dump 1 point in there.
Happening to me.
Alright, Kalistegi. Transdimensional Onslaught? Let's see. Static field, active 1 round. Looks like it drops my defenses. What else can she do? Alright. Let's go with... None of these guys are in good shape.
Minimal effect. I can't have miscalculated.
Let's see, what's her other ability? Dimensional superposition. Teleport to a point within range and then gain phased.
Waveforms collapse into a single reality. Disgusting. I should be rid of this.
Poor Tabir, he got
Feeling
whacked.
and that saves.
I may have made some mistakes here.
A man some elbow room, will you?
Alright. Mess this dude up. Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Feels like someone threw up in my.
Ow.
I'm surrounded.
Alright, what can I do? Teach magic. don't want a basic attack. I want her to do this thing.
How did that happen?
Miss? Jesus.
Yes, child.
Wow, that did not help at all.
Everything's possible when you keep your wits about you.
What's happening to me? I can't die. Ah, much better.
I don't really have any cool abilities to use, so I guess I'm just gonna attack this dude. I think I need to whack that dude.
Minimal effect.
Finally.
I can't have miscalculated. It is done.
Feeling a little weak in the knees.
I'm faltering.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus. Oh,
I can't die. You hit me, I'll hit you. Of course.
Fear my power. Waveforms collapse into a single reality.
ooh, ow.
I need help.
Oh, damn, I don't have enough.
I can't hurt it.
Probabilities collapsed here. Probability shakes at my coming.
I'm faltering. I'm hurt.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I just lose? I think I just lost. Damn it! Let's see what that means. I think that this is the first time that I've died, so let's see if death has any bite to it in this game. The Spectre. I can't say I expected you back so soon. Why am I here again? Are you always here? I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Why am I here again? You died. I mean, not dead, but you came awfully close. He leans in. You should be more careful out there. For both of us. I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have to find a way to fix it. If this is my mind, why don't I remember this place? I told you as much as I know. It's your mind, and that means you're in control. You just need to figure out how to unlock its secrets. I don't know how, but I think the resonance chamber will do that for us. It'll unite us, make us whole again. How do I get back this time? The portal's still there. I don't see why it wouldn't work twice. What should I do now? With the chamber broken, I'm not sure. We need to find someone who can fix it. That chamber's our only hope. Without it... Are you always here? Where else would I be? Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventure just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? And if you believe that... Sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. I think I'm ready to go. Farewell. Good luck. Oh. There's the portal. So apparently when I die, it just drops me into like some weird parallel dimension of my own brain. Imbitu. Death. The stink of it, of dried blood and rotting flesh, fills your nostrils. This is your first clue that you are still somehow alive. The second is the glow of candlelight, warm on your eyelids, and the icy stone beneath your back. Slippers scuff the ground near your head. Gather round, children, an elderly man says. Gather for the feast. Do I open my eyes, or do I keep them closed? Despite the glare of the dim candles, which seem at least momentarily as bright as sunlight, you see the robed figures recoil, shout, and step back. Only the old man remains where he was, clasping his hands together with unfiltered delight. At first glance, it would be easy to assume that the old man is dying of some wasting disease or starvation. He is little more than a too-tall skeleton wrapped in translucent flesh and a tattered robe. His hands are essentially bony claws. And yet he beams at you, his sunken eyes glittering with suppressed laughter and feverish life. He smiles at you, his sharpened teeth are a muddy brown. "Why, I know you," he says. "So many eyes have lingered on that tattoo, that noble brow." He reaches for your forehead with a shivering skeletal finger. I'll let him touch my forehead. Uh-oh. His fingertip traces a hot line over your tattoo. "Yes," he says. "Now I remember." Red tide and blue tide both raised. "Old Sarissa once saw you out of the corner of her eye. A week before his accident, Ulori Ma sold you a small bag of," he breathes, closing his eyes, "sugar-dusted almonds. But those aren't the only two. No, you drift through countless lives, altering and ending them, never leaving a name, never dying." He draws in his breath. "Oh, I can't stand mysteries. Love them, but I can't stand them. And so I must ask you for a simple, unthinkable favor. You may have suspected that we were going to eat you," he says, raising a bony finger. "This is somewhat true, but only so that the wonders of your life would not be lost." He looks down bashfully. "And now that we know you cannot die, well, would you do us the honor of letting us eat you? Just a little bit? If you do, we will share some of our deepest mysteries, and yours, with you." He folds his hands. "And we'll pay you, of course." All right, so let me take stock of my situation here. I've got a bunch of people that are about to eat me, and then my companions are sitting right here. Who are you people anyway? "Oh, yes, I suppose it must seem strange that a group of strangers is asking to eat your flesh. We are the Dendra O'Her." He smiles as if this answers your question. "Now, shall we get down to it?" Who are the Dendra O'Her, and why does being one make eating me all right? That is a good question, Imbitu says gravely. And I'm afraid we are quite hungry. So, if you will not give us your permission, we must carry on to the next corpse. He giggles. Unless they are immortal as well. Alright. Let's get this. Sharing knowledge? Yeah. Go ahead. Tabir's wide grin falters when he realizes you aren't joking. Blue Tide raised a moderate amount. Oh, that's gross. Imbitu and his followers lean over you in well-orchestrated unison, cutting slits in your flesh. Hoses dangle from their wrists, leading into their suits. They snake, seemingly of their own accord, into your incisions. For a moment, nothing happens. Then you hear a faint whirring as spinning blades grind at your organs and suck the pulp through the hose. Someone is screaming, and you have a fairly good idea who. Eventually, mercifully, you die. Last cast off permanently lost 2 health pool. Maximum health pool is now 20. Ouch. Ooh. Viscera Spring. That sounds awesome. After an indefinite amount of time, you open your eyes. Imbitu sits beside you, reading a book. Ah, he says, setting it down. Welcome back. What an exquisite experience that was. Though I'm certain you don't need to hear about it while you're waking up. He beams. At any rate, I took the liberty of adding a token of our gratitude to your belongings. Do come speak with me whenever you're ready to discuss what we learned from our little feast. Alright, I got a Viscera Sprig, not Spring, Sprig. I gain 50 shins, which are coins, gold, whatever, and 4 experience. Let's take a look at this thing. Viscera Sprig, it's an ornament. When hit with a melee attack, deals 1 relativistic damage and confers bleeding to an attacker. 2 physical damage per turn. Active for 3 rounds. This charm was given to you by Imbitu in gratitude for letting the Dendra O'Her consume you. It's shaped like a sprig, but it's made of bone fragments and viscera that were harvested from your body. While disgusting, it displays a level of loving craftsmanship. The ornament has been imbued with mystic properties known only to the Dendra O'Her, and it acts as a ward against attacks. So basically they give me some armor. Awesome. Now, if you happen to have another semi-fatal accident, rest assured that we will bear you back to our chapel as tenderly as a bag of baby birds. He pats your hand gently. And you have my word that we won't take so much as a nibble without your permission. Well, that was horrible. Calistegi, thank you. Oh, shit. I'm missing a cipher. Interesting enough. Huh.
Thanks for helping me free wrist, lad. Not that the little ingrate appreciated it.
Let's continue on. I don't think I'm going to take the time to talk to any of my companions right now. So let's see who we got here. Imbitu, Mallet, Kiotawa, Kezi, and Devourer of Wrongs. Let's talk to Imbitu real quick. Ah, a restless corpse. Imbitu beams at you, clasping his skeletal hands together like a tangle of twigs. Such a curiosity you are. What did you learn from eating my flesh? Quite a bit, he says cheerily, then grimaces. Too much, in fact. Your immortal flesh proved slightly too rich for some of my children. He pats his belly. I've quite a bit more experience and fortitude than them, however. For me, it is merely overwhelming rather than explosive. I shall endeavor to tell you what I have learned, but I fear it may not be as clear as you would hope. It always takes a while to digest. He stifles a giggle. The information contained in just one life. Your body contained countless wonders. We will be decades absorbing them all. He sighs. In other words, my interpretation may sound somewhat unfinished, unclear, mystical. But I would he pronounces the last word with distaste. But I would happily share these visions with you. Merely ask. Share a vision with me. Of course, he says, and closes his eyes, teetering gently. He draws a long, smooth breath. He hates the bed, this prison that holds her, he growls, and the voice is scarcely his own. His cheerful brow contorts. He swears words in tearful haste, and wears them like jewels in a crown for centuries, even long after they have lost their luster and their purpose. Imbitu opens his eyes, beaming. Didn't hear a word of it, he says, but it felt fascinating. I hope it was helpful. And do come back if you want to hear more. Yeah, I'm out. Bunch of corpses. Must be this way to get out.
With alacrity.
Now I'm in the underbelly. So Dendro her, Government Square. Looks like I need to get back to Government Square, but I also need to find some place to sleep, I think. Let's talk to Michaela. In a stall filled with all manner of dusty parts, connectors, and strange devices, a woman tinkers with a half-assembled power source, peering at it through spectacles that have been made that have several adjustable lenses. Her long white hair is disheveled, and the skin of her thin frame is marked with small scars and burns. She looks up curiously as you approach. Welcome to Michaela's Mechanicals. I got a bunch of broken stuff and a few things that work. You want any of it, let me know. Where do you get your stock? She shrugs. Trade, mostly. There's an old priest named Aligern who brings me the things now and then. Doesn't like to tell me where he finds them, so I don't ask. I get stuff from Little Manth, too, although sometimes his stuff's too hot to touch. Even a few things from the Sticka. Stitcha? If you can believe it. You trade with the Stitcha? Now and then. They dig up all kinds of things in those tunnels of theirs. Picky about what they trade for, though. Only want things that'll hold a lightning charge. Flashbacks, generators, that kind of thing. Her brow furrows, which is weird now that I think of it, because their eggs hold a charge, like little batteries they are. I've even converted a few of them to power things. They don't tell the Stitcha that. They'd be like using a baby for firewood in their eyes. Let me see what you have for sale. What we got? Berserker's Yoke. Got some armor. Root spike. The furtive eidolon. Alright, so it looks like most of these things are ciphers. Let's see. So a sting charge, light ranged weapon, uses speed, huh? Maybe a little safer for my dude than the rapier. I have 2 rapiers. What if I sold that? Nobody else has anything. Let's see. So he is all right. So let's take a look at my character sheets, because all right. So right now, I'm dominated by the Blue Tide. I'm a Jack. She is a Nano. He is also a Jack. I was hoping that he would be a little bit more fightery. I could really use a fighter kind of guy. So now my quest is to descend to the next level in the anechoic lazarette.
Fine.
Get out of here. Manufactory?
In an instant.
That is a giant robot. Cool. Fetchers. Synthsmith. Needs more ore. Energies from this massive engine are channeled into metal pipes sent below ground and distributed throughout underbelly.
Yes.
Oh, I can interact with this. Oh, I can climb up. A set of floating rungs rises from the floor, leading up to a more conventional ladder built into the side of an ancient ship. The ladder disappears into darkness above. Climb up, and that'll probably take me out to the main area. Alright, so right now I kind of feel like I need a plan. And I think my my main plan is I need to find someplace to rest. All of my characters are kind of, if not actually hurt, they're low on some of these points in their pools.
Let's go.
Towering above you is an enormous archway of metal and synth. Energy pulses through the structure, spilling from thin, transparent panels in subtle shades of gold and cyan. Examine the archway more closely. It appears to be dormant, but very much alive. The archway emits a low and constant hum just at the edge of your hearing. Across the top, illuminated words are inscribed. The House of Empty Time. Heavy, rope-like cables connect the archway to an ancient device nearby. Let's try to activate it. You scan the parts of the arch that are accessible from the ground, but you don't see anything that resembles a control device. Finally, you give up your search. If the arch can be activated at all, the method is unclear. Leave it alone. I wonder if this is something that'll be important later on in the game.
Go.
Oh, I've been going for an hour and 15, huh? Should probably find a place to shut it down. But maybe I should go back and see if I can make it through the anechoic chamber, at least a little bit. Power still flows through this ancient machine. A brassy heartbeat pulses within it, just at the edge of hearing, and tiny bubbles orbit the entire structure. No, not bubbles, holes in space. Try to remember why this machine feels so familiar. I have 3 points. Okay, there we go. Success. You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you, or at least the body you're in, and you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat bleeds into the present. Your hand, your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the now ancient machine. Look through the orbiting holes in space. You lock your eyes on a hole, watching it orbit. Sometimes the building it passes in front of are still there, sometimes they're on fire. Most of the time, however, nothing lies beyond the hole in the air but blackened wastes and whirling dust. So leave the generator alone for now.
It is done.
Yes.
I should probably see if there's like an inn or something in here. Let's see, what do we got? Arms merchant. Prata. Underbelly. And that'll go out to another area. There's no option for like camping or anything in this game, I don't think. Is there? No? Let's take a look at the character sheet and see what we got. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up who the it hasn't shown up. The Dendra O'Her are worshippers of the Lady of Maggots. That sounds appealing. The Great Queen Sar Lavun. They're a cult of cannibals, devouring flesh to draw the memories of the dead into their own minds. And the Order of Truth is basically a group of scientists, the Tabat. We're basically just warlords. So far, I've only run into the Sorrow, which is apparently like the big bad for this game, and the Merdan. That's in, I don't know how long I've been playing this game. The only two like monsters I've run into. I do dig that tricorn hat though. Oh, hey, look at that. A whole group of
Yes.
thugs. We are on Cliff's Edge. Sega's townsperson. We saw stickers this morning, right here in Cliff's Edge. Lord Vuntkin. Slave families, huh? Declaiming to the crowd is a well-dressed but sickly-looking man, short, dumpy, and an unhealthy shade of yellow. Despite this, he has the proud demeanor and the stentorian voice of a much larger man. He booms at you as you approach. Ah, another likely fellow. Excellent! The people have called for deliverance from this ravaging Stickus, and a hero has answered. Most courageous of you.
I'll remember that.
He smiles. All you have to do is be the first to find the rogue Stickus that's been terrorizing Cliff's Edge. Return here and tell me precisely where it is, and I'll take it from there. He pats you on the shoulder, and you'll be rewarded, I promise you. As the head of a slave family, I'll owe you a favor. And my favor carries a good deal of weight. Who are the slave families? That sounds awful. He puffs up with pride. We are the descendants of the slaves who rose up with Chilla the Great. They smashed the oligarchs who ruled this city and replaced their despotism with fair and egalitarian leadership, creating a city where anyone can achieve anything, if they only try. Oh, awesome. Must be an objectivist. Can I ask more about the Stickus and its kind? Of course. Knowing the enemy is the first step to defeating it. What exactly is a Stickus? They are horrible, undermining vermin from another world. They tunnel beneath the streets of our city, undermining our homes and causing them to collapse. Our deaths are nothing to them. They don't even believe that humans are sentient creatures. What else can you tell me about the rogue Stickus you're looking for? He shudders. The vile thing appeared in Cliff's Edge a few days ago, and it's been skulking around ever since. The whole neighborhood lives in fear of it. Why is Cliff's Edge so afraid of this Stickus? Some will tell you it's because this district has suffered the most from the Stickus digging. Houses collapsing on the people, others falling into the sea. There's some truth to that, but the real reason is that the people here have become weak and afraid. They aren't prepared to face adversity. He leans in, warming to his subject. Indeed, if the Sticker didn't exist, I would be tempted to invent them. For they are just what this city needs to stiffen its spine. Sega's Cliffs, our once proud empire, has abandoned its holdings and ceded its territories and autochthonous tribes and wild beasts. It's time to take them back. But how can we do that when our citizens have become lazy, timid children? You're right. Without conflict, people grow complacent. Active threats keep them on guard. But empires only serve the interests of a lucky few. Most people suffer and gain little in return. The people aren't weak. They only need someone to lead them, to inspire them towards a common goal. I think number 2. But empires only serve the interest of a lucky few. Most people suffer and gain little in return. Gold Tide bumped up. He frowns. And how much more would they suffer without the empire? The empire serves all. Even in the least in a strong civilization is better off than the best of a weak one. Sega's Cliffs had an empire? Indeed. We held all the lands from here to Ornuz-Ungaran. That was before the slave uprising that brought the slave families to power. Some of us seek to reclaim what we lost. Can I ask you something else? Tell me about yourself. Oh, this guy's gonna tell me about himself. This guy sounds like a white dude who is definitely going to tell me about himself. He puts a hand to his chest and raises his chins. I am Yaz Vuntken of House Vuntken, one of the most respected of the slave families. I also have the honor of serving on the council. He looks around him uneasily. I don't usually descend to this neighborhood, but in such a crisis, one must put one's finer feelings aside and do what one can for one's city. Well, what can you tell me about Cliff's Edge? Alas, I rarely pass through these miserable streets, so I know little about them. But I go where my city needs me. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Yes, child.
What's this? Crashed airship, huh? That seems like it might be a cool thing. I'm up to almost an hour and a half in this stream. Mother Temaz or Eritis? Let's take a look at Mother Mother Temaz. This woman glares at the air above her head, her fingers fretting with a single bead and a long, peculiar chain of them. Her low, angry muttering resolves into words as you get closer. Foolish boy, shivering at the crossroads, mazed by your choices. Go on and pick beauty, pick strength, pick pleasure, whatever that be. The pleasures don't matter, boy. What matters is the choosing, and that you do it. The particulars matter quite a bit, I'd say. She blinks at the empty air, and her hands steal to a metallic, many-faceted bead near the end of the chain. Aye, you would, she says, sighing, and it's serving you just as well as him. Mother Temaz knows you, lad. Born fallen you were, born in flames, shreds of your smouldering coal streaming through the air. When you struck ground, your bead first went cold, then hotter than a mother's hatred. She shakes her head and spits at her feet. Scarcely born you are, and learning quick, but you're still uncertain. All boys and girls are until they start making choices and dealing with the consequences, until they accept the cost of being adults. I don't understand. You make it sound like no choices can possibly be the right one. All choices sting, she says, flinging her dishwater gray palms in the air, and the sweetest ones often sting the most. She sighs. You're confused, but that'll change. You'll have your feet under you soon enough. Not all of my children are as lucky.
I'll remember that.
This one, she says, showing you the bead she was speaking to before you arrived. It's carved in the shape of a malformed ring. Piquo wants to escape his past. He saved a handful of shins by honest means. That is to say, it's taken him a long time, and he's too busy pissing over the options to spend it. Her fingers fold over the bead. Push him into choosing a path, lad. Do that, and I'll return your call to you, improved through my art, and stronger than when you lost it. Where can I find him? Mother Temaz trails off, closing her hand around her beads, staring into space. In Cliff's Edge. How should I help Piquo? You haven't been listening, lad. Don't help him. Convince him to help himself. Mother Temaz shakes her head. Agonizing over a choice is foolishness. Every choice will bite you, lad. Life is building a collection of mistakes all your own. I'll do what I can to help him. Farewell.
In this
Stay.
world, then.
Eritis. The first thing you notice about this wiry young man is the golden haze, the glow surrounding him. It sparkles in his eyes and gives him his easy grin a warmth that you can feel right down to your gut. He spots you and straightens.
I know what you're thinking. How in the world did you survive that crash, Aratus? The answer is, as it always is, backflips. But hold on. How did you know my name? Never mind. Not important. Of course you know my name. I'm Aratus.
He plants his hands on his skinny hips and beams. I don't know if I can actually do that guy's voice. Aratus. How did you end up crashing the airship? I'm glad you asked. This is somewhat of an understatement. He looks ecstatic. I was climbing up the cliffs to Caravanserai to see how impossible it was when I saw a star falling toward the reef. He raises an earnest figure. I knew right then that finding that star was my destiny. He runs his hand through his curls. But what was I going to do? Climb down? Boring. Already did it the other way. Walk? Walk? Worse. Far worse. No fun at all. He grins. Then I saw the airship docked over my head. I raced on up, borrowed the ship, and pointed it right at the reef. His face falls. I don't know what happened next. Despite my expert piloting, the airship steered itself directly at the cliffs. I had no choice. I landed it as fast and hard and safely as possible. Shaking his head, he sighs. I never did find that falling star. At this point, someone else has found it, and it's their destiny now. You're in luck. That falling star was me. No! Aratus shouts, overjoyed. Yes? Really? It was you? He grabs you by both shoulders. This is fate. You were meant to travel with me. You have to. Don't say no. Silvertide raised a tiny amount. Sure, I want you to join me. Of course you do. And I am ready. I am always ready. I bet he's another Jack. That's going to be awful. Let's take a look at our character sheet. So now we got me, the last cast off, Calistegi, Tabir, and... oh no, he is a Aglaive. Overly impulsive Glaive who is as heroic as he believes himself to be. That is actually a pretty fucking great description of a character. And I guess I should point out, I've just been doing the funny voices like I do for this game, because it's fun for me. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and save it here. Because why not? We'll just overwrite this game. Exit to the main menu. Before I cut out. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of one of the cool things about both Tides of Numenera and Planescape Torment is that a lot of the plot and story of the game focuses on what the characters believe the world and themselves to be, and then everything shapes itself to that, which I kind of find fascinating. I don't know, like, so far there's a lot of parallels between the two, and if you haven't played both of them, that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I know I've mentioned that this is supposed to be the spiritual successor to that game, and it's nice to kind of see those same themes pop up. In a lot of ways, it feels like this is kind of the same story told in another world. Which I guess feels a little like more cocky. That's a terrible way of saying it, more cocky. But like Michael Moorcock, the hero of 1,000 Worlds or whatever it was. It's been a long time since I've read those stories, where it's, you know, kind of the same spirit born over and over and over again in different universes. This very much has that same kind of feeling. Anyway, I'm sure with any luck I'll be able to get back into this game. I'm sorry that last week I didn't get a chance to. I was kind of busy working on getting things set up for the Burning Wheel game that happens on Sundays. quick plug if that's something that you're into. If you like tabletop role-playing games, Burning Wheel is great. We just had our first session Sunday. That would be yesterday. And we should be continuing that most Sundays at about 7:30 Pacific time. Tomorrow at 7:30 is our weekly game of Dungeons and Dragons. If you're into something a little more traditional in the tabletop realm, where we've been playing the Curse of Strahd game or module. And so that's been fun. We're getting real close to the end, and I think we're just finishing up some side quests. I imagine that we'll probably be done with that campaign in probably another 5 weeks, give or take. That sounds like a long time, but in Dungeons and Dragons time frames, that's either like one really long fight, or we're going to get through a whole bunch of stuff in that time. I'm not sure. But in any case, that's Tuesdays at 7:30, and then Wednesday, I will be doing the second of my Burning Wheel GM prep streams. I think this week I'm going to be doing something kind of interesting. I'm planning on creating a map of the campaign area. So if you want to hang out, I'll be doing that. I won't be using Roll20. I'll probably be using HexKit, which is a software that lets you do quick and easy hex maps that I picked up on Kickstarter. It's pretty sweet. I haven't really gotten a chance to play around with it, so I'll probably screw that up an awful lot. But if that's a thing that you guys are interested in, please come in, chat with me while I set it up. I'll go over some of the things that happened last session and what that means for the next session to prepare for. But yeah, that's it. If you're interested in following the things that I do, please go ahead and take a look right up here in this corner of the screen, and you can see all the places on the internet that you can find me. Also Instagram and Facebook. I think I'm SC Hayworth on all of those except for YouTube. There's no C in YouTube. S Hayworth. In any case, that's it for tonight. I will probably jump on this again, maybe Thursday or Friday. We'll see. Anytime that I've got a free hour or two, I'll try and plow through some more of this game. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.